Hello, guys. In this episode, we recount the life of a singular figure whose life became inextricably linked with one of the world's most enigmatic archaeological mysteries, the Nazca Lines of Peru. Her remarkable story is one of profound scholarly commitment, fierce environmental guardianship, and a relentless pursuit of understanding a silent message from an ancient civilization. In the vast, sun-scorched expanse of the Nazca Desert in Peru, where ancient geoglyphs stretch across the earth like cosmic hieroglyphs, bearing witness to a forgotten civilization, one woman dedicated her entire being to unraveling their profound secrets. Maria Reiche, 1903 to 1998, the enigmatic Lady of the Lines, was not born to this arid landscape, nor to its mysteries, but she became its fierce guardian, its most devoted interpreter, and ultimately, its enduring spirit. A German mathematician, geographer, and archaeologist, her life was a singular, obsessive quest to understand the Nazca Lines, a journey marked by profound intellectual breakthroughs, immense personal sacrifice, and a captivating eccentricity that set her apart. A fascinating life of unwavering, almost monastic, dedication in a world often too quick to dismiss the unconventional and the deeply committed. Born in Dresden, Germany, Maria Reiche initially pursued a path of rigorous academic inquiry, immersing herself in mathematics, geography, and philosophy. Her early life was conventional, marked by intellectual curiosity but no hint of the extraordinary destiny that awaited her. Yet, the winds of fate, or perhaps destiny's whisper, blew her across continents to Peru in 1932. She found work as a governess for the children of the German consul in Cusco, later teaching in Lima, and eventually serving as a translator. It was during this period, in the late 1930s, that her path intersected with the colossal, perplexing figures of the Nazca Lines. She first encountered them through the work of American historian Paul Kosok, who was conducting aerial surveys. These colossal figures, hummingbirds with impossibly long beaks, agile monkeys with spiraling tails, intricate spiders, and a bewildering array of geometric shapes, etched into the desert floor by an ancient civilization, captivated her soul and ignited a lifelong, all-consuming obsession. When Paul Kosok eventually left Peru in 1946, Maria, with a sense of profound responsibility and an almost spiritual calling, took up the mantle. She dedicated herself entirely, body and soul, to the solitary study and preservation of the geoglyphs. This was her first, quiet yet profound, act of defiance in the eyes of many, abandoning the comfortable, predictable trajectory of a conventional career for a solitary, relentless pursuit in one of the world's most desolate and unforgiving landscapes. It was a choice driven by an almost mystical connection to the past, a commitment that few could comprehend. Maria Reiche's life in the Nazca Desert was one of extreme dedication, bordering on asceticism. 4 decades, spanning more than half a century, she lived in a small, isolated hut, often entirely alone, with minimal comforts and little regard for the amenities of modern life. Her days were a relentless cycle of meticulous work. She would spend hours, sometimes entire days, painstakingly mapping the lines, using ropes, compasses, and a keen eye. She would then carefully clean them of encroaching desert debris, pebbles, sand, and small stones, and vigilantly protect them from the relentless desert winds and, more ominously, from human interference. To gain a better perspective, she climbed precarious ladders, took countless aerial photographs from small, often rickety, plains, and spent untold hours under the scorching, relentless sun, driven by an unshakable belief that these lines held profound astronomical and calendrical significance. She theorized, with compelling evidence, that they were an enormous astronomical observatory or a giant calendar, precisely designed to track celestial movements, predict solstices, and guide ancient agricultural cycles. This intense, almost monastic, focus, while yielding groundbreaking insights that reshaped our understanding of ancient Nazca civilization, also led to a life of profound isolation. She became a reclusive figure, her world shrinking, almost entirely, to the lines themselves. Her only companions were often the resilient desert creatures, lizards, insects, and the occasional bird, and the silent, watchful figures she tirelessly studied. This solitary existence, often seen as deeply eccentric by outsiders and a scandal against conventional societal norms, was a woman choosing the profound, silent company of ancient mysteries over the bustling complexities of human companionship. Her theories, though revolutionary and ultimately largely vindicated, were not without their detractors of academic friction and initial resistance. While many eventually embraced her groundbreaking work, some mainstream archaeologists and scientists initially viewed her interpretations with skepticism, questioning her meticulous methods or challenging her bold conclusions about the line's astronomical and calendrical purpose. She often found herself battling, sometimes fiercely, to legitimize her findings against a more conservative academic establishment, a lonely fight for recognition and validation in a field dominated by men and traditional approaches. The harsh desert environment and her relentless, unprotected work took a devastating toll on Maria's health, a silent, unfolding act of self-sacrifice. She worked without adequate protection from the searing sun, the abrasive winds, and the ever-present dust. Over the years, she suffered from severe skin conditions, chronic respiratory problems, and eventually, her eyesight and hearing deteriorated significantly, leaving her almost completely blind and profoundly deaf in her later years. By the end of her life, she was confined to a wheelchair, her body frail and ravaged, yet her mind remained remarkably sharp, her passion for the lines undimmed, her spirit unbroken. This physical sacrifice, a poignant act of self-neglect for the sake of knowledge, is a powerful testament to her unwavering, almost spiritual, commitment. She literally gave her body, piece by piece, to the desert she loved and the mysteries she sought to preserve. Furthermore, her fierce, almost fanatical, protection of the lines sometimes put her at odds with local authorities, opportunistic developers, and even well-meaning but careless tourists. She campaigned tirelessly, often with a fiery passion, against encroachment, vandalism, and the destructive impact of unregulated tourism. Her passionate, sometimes confrontational, defense of the lines was seen by some as an inconvenience, an obstacle to progress, or even a deed of defiance against economic development. But for Maria, it was a sacred duty, a moral imperative to safeguard an irreplaceable piece of humanity's heritage. She became known for physically chasing away trespassers, a small, determined figure against the forces of indifference and destruction. Maria Reiche passed away in 1998, at the venerable age of 95, and was buried with full honors near the Nazca Lines themselves, the very desert she had so fiercely protected becoming her final, eternal resting place. Her tireless, often solitary, efforts led directly to the Nazca Lines being designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994, a crucial step that ensured their protection and recognition for future generations. Maria Reiche's life is a thrilling, deeply human testament to the power of intellectual curiosity, profound dedication, and an unyielding spirit in the face of immense challenges. Her scandals were not moral failings or personal vices, but rather the radical acts of a woman who chose an unconventional path, defied academic skepticism, and sacrificed her personal well-being for the sake of a profound archaeological mystery. She was a solitary guardian, a visionary interpreter, and a true legend whose life is as intricately etched into the Peruvian desert as the very lines she devoted her life to understanding, a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown and the unwavering spirit of those who seek its truth.